if you look up real life superheroes, there are dudes that are out there. Wouldn't it make your hands bigger?
Yeah.
Walking around with these giant hands.
It actually just makes your hands smaller.
Shrinks them, makes everything look bigger.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I'm a superhero. I can eat hot dogs.
So think
I'm
about
the Winginator.
Run up
See,
top.
that's
It
what I'm
was
talking about,
crazy.
man. So could you be Batman?
Stick around, cause I am coming back. And I know someday I'm gonna make it big.
We talk about shit we talk about anyway. Just sit here.
Seriously.
That's the plan. That's the dream. But anyway, all right, let's get to the show. Don't like the fact that, like, when you have, it's a fucking soup out there, man. It's like you could just be sitting there doing breathing, and you start to clam up that hot clam shit.
It doesn't bother me. It's called being a man.
That's a low dig there, dude. That's a low dig, man.
Fucking well. I just don't like the cold weather, man. I just don't. I'm tropical.
I like
I'm a tropical.
I like
people.
75 and sunny.
I don't
that
mind
way.
hot. Yeah, fuck yeah, man. I don't mind hot. I hate humid.
I'm saying.
So you could do desert hot, just not humid.
Dude, I was in Dallas. It was 106 degrees out. It was hot. Don't get me wrong. Hot as a mofo.
I hate humidity too.
But it was like, I wasn't like, ugh. I'm serious.
I'm saying though, if you take the two extreme temperatures, extreme cold, extreme heat, I'll give the extreme heat. Fuck that extreme cold. That's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. I fucking can't stand it. Like the wind.
What
blows,
about it?
The wind blows. You got like a shit ton of clothes on, and it feels like it blows right through your fucking skin.
You ain't got the right gear, man.
Dude, I got all sorts of gear. I got the Under Armour shit. I got the fucking Tyvek bullshit. I got all that stupid shit.
Dude, I was in Alaska.
It's still cold.
Dude,
There's
I was in
still
Alaska.
a piece of your skin
Yeah.
out in that weather.
I kind of like that, though.
I don't.
Because I feel like I'm in like a spacesuit, you know? Like, come on, bitches.
Because
I
you got to put all that shit on. You got to take all that fucking
No,
bullshit
dude,
off.
you got to see the Cabela's rain gear I have, or the guide wear that I have.
Yeah.
That stuff is badass. It's made out of some space age technology because I was in Alaska getting up before the sun even came up on the water out there cruising on a boat, open air boat. And yeah, it was cold, but the only things that weren't cold was the shit that was being covered up by that gear. And all I had was a pair of doe folds underneath, and that was it. And it's not real thick. It's space age, man. Because I'm not a man. I couldn't take that
I'm just
cold.
telling you, I just don't like it at all.
But the shit was expensive, man. It was like,
Yeah, all
for
that
space age shit.
dude, it was like
All that-
$600 for a bib and for a jacket.
Dude, those long johns, like
John ain't fucking around.
No,
Hey,
dude,
freeze,
no way.
I feel
I'm
like
like, I'm not going to a Target in
Your
Alaska.
brother showed up with just a sweater.
that's what I was saying. Like those thermals I get, they're like
Just a
$60
hair on his back.
for like,
He's
like the
fine.
shirt, and then the pants are $60.
Yeah, that's
for
not
just
the
the
good stuff's
thermals.
expensive, man.
Yeah, I don't like the cold either, man. I used to love it when I was younger, man. Go sledding, snowball fight. I can't. I'm outside in the
Fuck.
snow for like 5 minutes, and I'm like,
That's what I tell Brent. She's like, "Yeah, let's go outside." I'm like, dude, fuck this.
I think what it is, man.
I'm
honestly,
good.
I'll throw a few snowballs. I'm going back inside.
I'll throw on the porch, the deck.
Yeah.
Dude, don't you like going out, playing with the kids? Everybody gets kind of that rosy cheek thing, and then you go in and have like hot chocolate.
Yeah, the dad me is like right now saying yes, and I'm shaking my head no. You know what I mean? That fucking sucks.
I love that shit, man.
I think it blows.
The dad in me likes a beach where I'm watching my kid
Exactly.
doing a sandcastle,
I'd rather,
dude.
yeah, and in all my agony of schlepping 5,000 things to that fucking beach, I will take that over fucking wearing a shit ton of clothes and fucking wind blowing and fucking taking my breath away.
You ever notice when you wear a
What
shit
a
ton of
puss.
clothes and you always miss that one
Why does-
spot and it rides right up your fucking back?
I got when
You
it's
guys are
cold
not
out,
prepared.
and that's another thing too. When it's cold out, your dick goes in. When it's hot out, your dick hangs out. What does that say?
You wouldn't have been up in the north, man. You wouldn't have survived the long winter.
I deal with it. I'd be an animal just to get the fuck out of it.
You know nothing, Jamie Snow.
I'd be tearing shit up. Like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Jamie's sand. That's what he'll be doing.
He would have been in the Isle of Dorn.
Fuck yeah.
All right,
let's
we
get
got
started.
warmed up. Let's do this. Here we go. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Nick, Jon, and Jamie Show. I am Jon.
I'm Nick.
I'm Jamie.
Jamie, happy to see you back healthy. We're recording a little later than we usually. We usually record on a Monday, but young Jamie over there had some nasty bug.
I burnt the candle at both ends.
Yeah, and it burnt you back.
Yeah, I got fucked up. It's called getting old. Father time. Fuck you.
You weren't listening to your body, man.
Yeah, I threw up them deuces. He threw them right back.
So glad to have you back. Not that you were missing, but we did miss you for the couple days. I was itching to do a podcast on Monday. By the way, for those of you listening, it is Wednesday, September 5th. So we're recording again a couple days later than we normally record.
I don't think you ever usually say the date.
I don't. We just do it every week on the week, every Thursday. So once in a while, I'll usually say, I won't say the exact date, but I'll say it's a Monday.
Yeah.
Maybe a Monday night or something. So everybody knows that we're coming off a fresh weekend
Yeah.
for box office. And speaking of which,
A little segue. Getting better at it.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich
Again?
Asians. Yeah.
Damn, those Asians.
Yeah. It was...
Now they're getting rich, that's for sure.
Well, the movie's doing... It's steady. It's like in the 20s, you know?
Yeah, but there's nothing else. There's nothing out where, came out that's really competing. Like,
Well,
big.
it's amazing because of the amount of money they put into that fucker.
How much money do you think they
They
put
didn't
into
put
that?
that much into
30
it.
million.
Yeah.
How much has it made so far?
It's made over 110 million.
Ching.
Yeah. It's made over 110 million, and it's like... hasn't really slowed down. But to your point... But it's interesting, though. It's like, you see... This is like one of these steady ones. These steady wins the race, and the timing is everything. Because if you look, sorry, I thought I had a loose wire. 25, 20, right along the way. Now they're up to over $100 million. And like the Meg, $10 million. That's number 2. Mission Impossible, $7 million.
I think the title fucked that movie up. I'm telling you right now.
Terrible name.
If they
The
came
Meg?
out,
I thought of Family Guy. I honestly did when I said the Meg. I was thinking of Family Guy.
No, I was just so disappointed when they had that. It was just like, dude, are we that fucking lazy or we have to abbreviate things and shorten things at all costs?
I guess they figured Megalodon would have been too long.
I would have rather have dealt with that than the Meg. Like what?
It's a lame title for
Like
sure.
you just heard the Meg.
Don't even have a.
What was that? Like a.
Don't even have the shark or a hint to a shark in the whole title. Just do like a name, like a phrase of some sorts.
So we were just talking about budget, and I was looking around and poking around the internet, kind of doing fun fact check type stuff, and there's a couple articles that were singing the same song. They said usually about half of the budget goes to marketing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So when we say budget, is that the budget the movie made, or is there's another half that is in marketing?
From what I've read, now I could be mistaken, so I'll have to fact check my fact check. But the article that I read stated that if it's little over $100,000 movie, you might spend about $100 million budget. Probably about $40 million is dumped into marketing.
That's
what I mean is like when they say Avengers when they came out with their budget and they said it was like $230 whatever.
Yeah.
Was that including the marketing or
yeah?
Okay.
From the one article that I read that was
sounds
really
low. It
But
sounds like paying all those characters.
My question to you is, why would they waste so much money on marketing in a movie like Avengers? You already had the ball rolling on that one. Wouldn't you want to try to that's an opportunity to cheap out, which it wouldn't hurt you at all.
They might have. You never know.
I would have chinced out. Me, business wise, that's a smart move.
Yeah,
that marketed itself. You really didn't, especially after Black Panther's.
It's not like it's not like you're coming out with something that's new per se. You know what I mean? It's like
the hype's already there.
Yeah, the ball's rolling, dude.
Yeah.
Ride that train. Cash in.
Same thing with, not to go down this road, but same thing with like a Star Wars. You really don't need to hype that shit up. You're gonna get
waste of money.
Fucking buy that shit out, dude.
I'm wondering. You know what that makes me think? How much do they spend on international versus domestic?
They probably
marketing?
spend more on international, especially with the big names like that, because it's big in the United States, but it might not be as, especially in China and the Asian countries.
Mm-hmm.
They probably spend a ton of money out there.
This is probably why porn industry kills it.
No advertising.
They don't really have to sell marketing.
That's right.
It's like you're going to beat off.
Whack off anyway, right?
I got to get the poison out. I'm just going to find something. Okay. Ooh, good. Yeah.
I know the end of every scene.
Yeah. Naughty stepmom. Yeah. Okay, good.
Pizza, the pizza guy shows up.
Me taking a nap. So Mission Impossible is number 3.
Still kicking.
No shit.
What is
so
it
by
up
the
to?
way, the Meg is almost at $500 million.
What?
Yeah.
It's like 400.
Dude, I heard it sucked.
$billion.
I heard it was decent.
It's, you know what it is? It's just a fun romp, probably. It's probably like, don't even take it serious. Go in and have some
Who's
fun.
the main?
Jason Statham.
I bet he got like ton of money for
If
that.
he was smart, he got a piece of the back end.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Rather than take a payday up front, take the back end,
Yeah.
and you're walking away smiling.
Yeah. I mean, that could be his tequila company. You know?
Yeah, who knows, man? I mean, I've always liked him, but I've never
Not that he has a tequila
What did he
company.
do? That driver,
The
transporter.
mechanic. Oh, transporter. That's right.
Transporter. I've watched the first one was great. I kind of didn't watch the rest. I was like,
They're all right.
He did one called The Mechanic too.
He did.
Right?
He did the
Okay.
mechanic. That was actually good too. I did
that
like
was
the
good.
I
It was
did
pretty
like-
much a transporter, but he worked on the shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
They really
let's be
stress that
honest.
shit out, dude.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But it's like
We
all
like both of them.
But all those guys, like Sylvester Stallone, all those guys, they don't really stretch too far from where they
No,
are.
my point is that you get the director of that, and then you throw him on, like, say, a Star Trek, and you can sniff that out like a fucking stinky pile of shit.
Yo, we used to.
Why are we going back down this road, Jamie?
Just saying, dude.
He's
I'm
got to
just-
get the poison out.
I'm saying like the Fast
I
and
thought
the
he was going
Furious.
to whack it in the corner, man.
I just might.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, and some people, like when I was a wee lad and I was doing design work, and people wanted you to develop a style so you could be recognized, and that's your signature without an actual signature, that type of thing.
I just don't like when it gets to the point of like it's like a typecast. You know what I mean? It's like that's a Michael Bay. Like there's no doubt about that one.
Well, that's the trap, right? That's what the way I see it, and the way you see it too. It's like
I think all Hollywood gets that way, though.
but some of it you don't get tired of because they kind of.
John Hughes is a good example of that.
John Hughes, you look
that
at
dude's fucking glorious.
a Stanley Kubrick
God bless
movie.
you, sir.
Like a Stanley Kubrick movie. You look at
What movies has he done? Refresh.
The Shining, Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's got an eerie, creepy style.
But that
to
was
it.
all back in the day. Has he done anything recent?
I'm not sure what he's done. Well, the last one he did the movie with Nicole Kidman and Eyes Wide Shut. I think was Kubrick.
I didn't watch that. I don't think I did.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong on that,
It
but
was
I think
Tom
it was.
Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, that was the one they were.
Yeah, but you're right, though. All directors kind of follow, I mean, even Spielberg kind
Yeah,
of
well,
he's the only one that I've ever seen him jump around.
But
But
everybody
he doesn't do comedies.
Yeah, and my thing
True.
though is my point is like, yeah, everybody has their style, but when they do it so bad that it's like, dude, you can sniff it out in like other movies.
What's crazy about that is like a guy like Michael Bay still gets rewarded for it, and it just boggles the mind how a guy like that, in general, and there's tons of them in Hollywood that are that bad at their job, but they still give them these mega blockbuster movies to do.
Who is? I got to give
Still
this,
making money, man.
Who's the Fast and Furious guy? I got to give this guy.
There's a couple different ones. There's just not
but it's
one.
that
far as the
Lou
director?
guy. Yeah,
The one that did Star
Trek.
Trek and especially they were like all raving about this guy when he took over. I mean, the visuals were good in the movie, but the storyline sucked.
yeah, motorcycle in space.
What now? I was talking
On
about
another
the
planet.
Yorktown. The
Okay,
Yorktown was
okay.
badass, dude.
I'd love the Yorktown scene for sure.
I'm just talking about the motorcycle going up the hill.
I just saw
on
somebody,
another planet. You're like, wait, huh?
I just saw somebody die from a motorcycle today.
Ooh, you saw the accident?
I didn't actually see. I missed it by like 2 minutes.
That's fucking dark, man.
Yeah.
You want to sit on the couch?
Yeah.
Talk about it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
You might need some therapy.
When I was a kid, I was like, I'm 17. I'm going to get... Justin Lin was the director, by the way.
Okay. That's it.
But I was like, yeah, I'm going to get a motorcycle, man. That's going to be badass. It'll be cheaper on gas. I won't have to pay as much in insurance and everything. My mom's like, nope. Sorry. No.
Dude, that's just... No, I don't want to get into this story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys later.
But anyway, so let's round up the box office. Got Searching, Operation Finale at number 5 with $6 million. Disney's Christopher Robin still in the top 10 at $5 million. Alpha, we talked about that a little bit. That's doing about $4 million. It's kind of like just nothing spectacular about last weekend at all. Happy Time Murders, $4 million, or a little over, almost $4,500,000. And then Black Klansman at $4 million, and Mile 22 at almost $4 million at 3.7.
Well, Black Klansman's probably not in a lot of theaters.
It is. Actually.
Oh, it is.
Well, I don't know the amount of theaters, but like you and I were talking about that because we want to see it before it gets out. I do want to see it. It's at 2 theaters that are really local. It's at Painters Crossing. And
it's at Painters?
And the one in Downingtown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not the dine-in, but
that's
the
gonna
other
have
one.
to be you boys. I got a full docket. I can't.
Yeah, that's right. We got to watch. Well, we're going to be busy watching Iron Fist this weekend.
That might be a DVD for me. I mean, on no DVD. I mean, on demand.
Oh, the Black Klansman.
Yeah,
it's doing about 60 million.
I mean,
worldwide.
it got good reviews across the board. There wasn't bad reviews.
Oh yeah,
it's
just definitely crushing. So we'll have to give it a go for sure. I'll drop my kids off at your house, and Nick and I can go to see Black Klansman.
You mean?
Sorry,
Jamie.
I did that last week too, man.
That's all right, man.
How am I getting you two confused?
I've been called worse by better.
And that's the weekend box office.
You're like ripping in the shit out of him today.
That's all right. I have I have thick skin. I can actually take the cold.
Actually, he's got a beard going.
I do. Rocking my beard.
He's
I lost
trying to imitate
the
Jamie over
charger.
here.
I lost the charger to my razor.
Yeah, that's how mine started, and I was just like,
got lazy.
I was like, fuck it. And then the one day I like rolled out of bed and I was like, yo, Brain, I don't feel like shaving this motherfucker. Here's a pair of scissors, like trim it up to like a decent amount, and then I'll like cut like the neck part.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I went.
See, I'm
to
just
a party. Dressed nicely.
See, I can't. My beard's all gray. So
I got compliments on it too. I was like,
that's the beards are in right now.
I was
man.
like, that was
A lot
definitely
of dudes
not
have
trying. I tried like probably the least amount.
You were 90s eligible for beardage. You guys rock a goatee in the 90s?
I didn't.
No? You did, didn't you?
I did not rock a goatee.
No?
Sir.
Oh, I thought for sure he did.
What?
You seem like a goatee type
Does
of
it
guy.
say douche on my forehead?
No, I actually.
I knew. That's why I said it. You were all like,
Actually, I thought
I took
Jamie,
the wind out of your sails on that
Quiet for
one.
a second there. Yeah,
I thought Jamie was more of a mullet guy.
No, I had the mullet too, man.
I was going Jamie, not you, dude.
I had a handlebar mustache.
Did you?
No, absolutely not.
You had a hand with your barber, what's that, barber quartet?
Yeah, what the hell that?
So in the news, as we segue over, we did nothing much in casting news. We did get a big drop. We got some newly released, sanctioned Captain Marvel pictures.
Looks pretty cool.
It looks really cool. They actually threw down. They showed her in her full regalia in the blue, red, or red, blue, and gold costume. They showed the Skrulls, which are going to be the villains.
Which I liked. The only thing I'm curious about, we talked about right before, is it's not an origin story. So how is it going to work?
They're gonna tell some sort of story.
They have to. They just can't because she's on Earth and then she ends up on the Kree home world.
Yep.
So how does that correlate?
But
You know
how
what I
often
mean?
do they stick to what they say they're going to do anyway?
That's true.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the footage, you've seen her, like, it looked like she was in the Air Force Academy, which is what I'm making an assumption. Nobody
Early
called out.
90s, I'm assuming.
But
yeah.
if she's in the Air Force Academy,
Tom
then,
Cruise next to her.
yeah, well, yeah. Right. But if she's in the Air Force Academy, then,
Ghost alive.
she wasn't able to fly it, right? So if she wasn't able to fly, then she wasn't a pilot, and I wouldn't think that she would go back to being a pilot if she becomes Captain Marvel, who can fly without even.
Yeah, that'd be silly.
You know what I mean?
But I did like how they brought in old characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy. We just said his name and I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Ronan.
Ronan's in it, and it's like when Ronan was when he didn't leave the Kree Empire.
He wasn't a zealot. Yeah,
he wasn't a zealot at that point. So I like how still, again, just that one little nugget. It seems like they're going to tie it in together with other things. Marvel just does it, man.
They give you enough taste.
Yes, not overdoing it. Where they just throw things together just a little bit, and then you see Samuel L. Jackson as a young man with no eye patch.
With no eye patch, that's right. And so Samuel L. Jackson is in it. I don't know if this is accurate too, but you did see those pictures floating around where it looked like the Avengers were old school uniforms. And people were speculating that they make an appearance somehow back in with Captain Marvel. Did you see those pictures?
No, I didn't see it. I don't buy that.
Yeah,
It's one of those wish-washy sites. They want to just pop up without you asking.
That's what we were just talking about. That's going overboard.
Yeah,
I think tying a little nugget in there, maybe like a Tony Stark father because he's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean with Samuel L. Jackson, little nuggets like that. That's fine. But if you sat there and just throw a bunch of Avengers in there, you're going to kill the point of the movie is her. It's not an Avenger movie.
You're sniffing out like douchiness.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I can go for like, hey, show me like Cap Shield or
something like a nugget like that or.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how they're going to knit all that
Play
together.
with my dick a little, you know?
Yeah.
I'm down.
I like the little foreplay.
Yeah. Don't jump into it, man.
Rub the asshole. Don't stick the finger in yet.
Get to know me.
Buy me dinner at least. Not a whole lot in the news on, there's this little bit of a lull. But we did see the photos from Captain Marvel, which I'm totally stoked about. Especially because I never gave this character a bit of cred. I was just like, meh, okay, it's Captain Marvel. It wasn't, it's the same, it's this pattern where we undercut or undersell and don't pay attention to these undervalued, I guess I could have said, characters in the Marvel MCU. And then Marvel manages to weave this magic and bring them to the forefront and make them really engaging and exciting. I told you, didn't I? I think I told Nick this. I'm not sure if I mentioned it last episode, but there was a Twitter post that I saw and I double fact checked on this, but Sony had a chance to buy all those characters that Marvel had for like $250.
Yeah, you did. You didn't say it on the podcast. You did tell me the other day.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
Well, you know what? They wouldn't have done the job because
no,
I think it was just right timing, right person. It's like anything else. It's like when Jurassic Park came out for the first time. It was the right time for a dinosaur movie to hit the stage. There was ones before that, nowhere near Jurassic Parks. But like it's like anything else. It's just a timing thing when things get released. Same thing with Star Wars. I mean, the world was just ready for that type of movie to get released at the time.
But wrap your head around this. Imagine this deal went down 5-10 years ago. When was the first X-Men?
Oh shit!
It was 2006.
Okay, so then fast forward.
I think 2000. I'm going to say 2000. Well, we got the great googly moogly.
Well, whatever.
What about? Go ahead.
So, like, say that the deal went down 10 years ago. Wait, so Tony Stark came out
10 years ago. It was 2008. Tony Stark.
Okay, so say 8 years ago, because they were still making X-Men shit too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you could have like popped. Yeah, that would have been like in between. You could have like popped them in. I think they could have worked something nice out.
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
not as good as this though. I mean,
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but they would give everybody what they really want.
2000 on the X-Men,
as far as like
X-Men. Jesus, that far back.
But like X-Men,
but
X-Men.
But now that Disney's taken over, I mean, I think we might get what we want. It might take a little longer. It might take 5-6 years, but I think we will get it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and back to your original point about the Captain Marvel never gave her any credit. Like, it's like the Avengers. I mean, outside Spider-Man, I heard of the Avengers growing up, but I didn't care. Iron Man was kind of a corny character to me, you know. And then they put Robert Downey Jr. and they made a movie, and I was like, wow, this is. They made it so that it's almost believable, and that's almost going to get to our topic later. So I don't want to get into it right now.
Yeah.
And then like the Thor character.
Yeah, they made Thor cool.
Thor cool, exactly. How did you make Thor cool? And he's like
That's a guy
probably the coolest Avenger right now.
That's the guy you just, you know, the next page.
Yeah, I don't care. You wear a dumb hat, move on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And they're going to do it here. But the thing is, too, is that we might suffer from, because of the reputation of Captain Marvel, you might suffer from a Superman syndrome. If she's one of the most powerful members of the Marvel universe, and she can actually absorb energy and return it back to whoever tosses
It's like
whatever.
vibranium.
Yeah, it's similar to the Wakandan suit. Black
vibranium.
Panthers. Yeah. But she can turn it back into those blasts out of her hands.
See, I don't know nothing about the character, so that's why I'm super psyched because I've never read the comics.
But see, that's my problem is I keep looking for Adam Warlock to show up.
Well, dude,
That's where I'm sucked
he's in 3.
Well,
but is Adam Warlock more powerful than Marvel?
I don't think so. He's.
That's a tough one.
Or are they on the
That's
same kind of
actually-
line then?
That's like a
I'm not sure. I think Adam Warlock is more like power cosmic, and then I think Captain Marvel is more just brute strength power.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you're right because it's like Superman-esque.
Who would win in a fight, Superman or Marvel?
Superman, I think.
I think
Probably Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
Marvel comes close, but, you know, still not there.
Hence why it's so hard to write for.
Yeah, and I heard
Kryptonite. That's it.
I heard more so like there was a character in the Marvel universe called the Gladiator, and the first time I saw him, and he's part of that whole sort of space scene with the Kree and with the Shi'ar and more of the Guardians of the Galaxy universe instead of like based in Earth on Earth, and he's kind of a badass looker. He's got like a dark complexion. He's got this mohawk, big cape, and everything like that. But the first time I saw him was in the Death of Phoenix, and he went toe to toe with Colossus. And
Knock it out.
And they boom, 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 and then the structure around them crumble. It's so dramatic, man. And then you see a hand clutch the side of this like big sheet of concrete and pry it up. And because it's in shadow, you don't know who it is from the panel you're looking at. And then when he finally comes out, he's got Colossus knocked unconscious in his arm, and you're like, he just put a whooping on him. But he gets seen later in this Fantastic Four run where he comes down, he whoops up on the Fantastic Four, and they call, I forget how they called it out, but he's like, and he is, I have the power. His power is basically will, and if he doesn't believe it to be so, it isn't. Meaning, like, I can lift up this car. Why? Because I believe it, but I believe I can.
So it's a belief. Any belief he believes,
Yeah,
it's automatically
it manifests itself.
like
in
he
some,
believes he can go into a star, he'll go into a star.
Yeah, exactly.
How
But
do you
it's
beat
more
that?
physical. Yeah, exactly. So, and people have said that Superman is very similar.
It's a
in that
will thing with him?
Most of it is will.
It could be, because there's been other Kryptonians that, you know, have had all the powers that just never match up.
Yeah, he still puts a whooping on him.
Yeah.
But it's cool stuff, you know. I can't wait till Captain Marvel comes out. There's a whole lot to chew on in that.
Oh,
I mean,
man, I can't wait for that. At least a trailer. I'm just itching for a trailer on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the bad guy. You ever see, like, you see the same guys play bad guys for a little while.
I don't even know who the bad guy is in the comic.
The bad guy is the same guy who was the bad guy in Rogue One. His Mendelsohn. I can't remember the. actor's name.
The Admiral or whatever.
Yeah.
But who does he play? The character.
He plays Talos. Talos is a Skrull. You know, the green guys with the wrinkly chins. They're shapeshifters. They're the enemy of the Kree.
Oh.
Yeah. And so and then there's Super Skrull that can actually absorb people or imitate people's powers. But he's at least in the comics, Talos didn't have the power to shapeshift. So he became this warrior, and he like overcompensated and everything else. So he's supposed to be the main baddie. Now the thing to know is that the Skrull can shapeshift. So they can look like anybody,
right?
And then there's there's a series where the Skrull in Marvel where they actually infiltrate they almost like they pull a move almost like Hydra in Cap Winter Soldier.
What?
They infiltrate all the areas of government, you know, and then actually, and
if you can shapeshift, that's pretty damn easy to do.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. So hopefully they'll do some of that in Captain Marvel, but I think a lot of it's going to take place in space too.
Which I'm down with because what they do with Guardians, they don't make it so serious in space. It's like it's fun, but believable. Mm-hmm. We even had a fact check on that with Bree, your wife, about how long you could stay in space.
Yeah.
So it's like
the final frontier, man.
Exactly.
So stoked about that. The other thing that came up is more of a, not so much news, but I guess trailer, is Halloween dropped another trailer.
Did they? Oh, I didn't see it. Shit.
It looks good, man.
It does. I saw it.
You saw the second trailer?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Dude, you know, in the first series, like in the first movies, like it was a lot of jump scares, right?
Yeah.
You'd open up a door, you open up the fridge
door. Be that this way.
I'm going to have to say, I don't like that they have a name for that.
Jump scare?
Yeah, that kind of like, I don't know.
It cheapens it a little bit?
It does.
You know exactly what it is.
I know, but it's like the Meg thing. It's like, come on.
Can't we just say what it is instead of abbreviating everything?
Yeah, just like, can't you just be scared? There's got to be jump scared.
I can't speak to the new trailer, but the old trailer where like it just seems like it was a slow anticipation of a build-up. And I do like that about movies. I hate the jump scare. I've never been into the jump scare, never into the gore, but I do like an anticipation of a build-up or something that's left hanging out there that I want to try to figure out through the movie.
Yeah.
Like seeing his face is one of the things I've always wanted to see.
Yeah. Well, and when you don't say it, like it's just this emotionless black eyes, white stark face, and you're like, which
they made
William
him really.
Shatner.
They did make him really scary.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I told you about the William Shatner thing, right?
No.
What's that?
That mask was.
Oh yeah, you did say that. It was just a mold of William Shatner.
No, it was an actual William Shatner mask that they sold to the public, and John Carpenter.
It was a mold.
Well, yeah, it was. It looks just. Well, it doesn't look. It was like old school rubber mask. I don't want to say mold because a mold would be like. It reminds me of like an aesthetic that you would see, or prosthetic, not aesthetic. Prosthetic that you would see. So it was that mold, and I think John Carpenter or his special effects guy or somebody said they grabbed it and they just spray painted it white, and that was how low budget that film really was, and they didn't dive into it, and today it's iconic.
Yeah, it's great.
You know what's funny about some of the low budget movies that come out early on and they're like awesome, then they dump a bunch of money into the sequels and they fucking suck.
Yeah, man, that's a great point,
dude. Man, it's like Jaws was.
It's the story.
Jaws was a point right there. I think they had $6 million to do the whole movie.
Yeah, it was.
Then they did so well. They did a Jaws 2, which they probably had a budget of at the time like $80 million.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's an afterthought.
And it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's my theory of that. It's probably like some sort of bullshit afterthought.
Yeah,
it's not like unless somebody has something like thought out, like Star Wars, like the original 3. He had those obviously thought out.
He kind of flew at the seat of his pants.
He had the concept for sure.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's what I'm saying.
The storyboards,
but I'm saying like the other ones, they're kind of a really hardcore afterthought.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. Because the only reason I was calling you out on that one was because I saw an interview and Spielberg was like, George didn't have those other scripts written. He didn't have. He was like but he did have the concept, obviously, or he wouldn't have put episode 4 for A New Hope.
I didn't know he did that at first. I thought it was just Star Wars.
Yeah, no, it was episode 4.
It was
first.
always been episode
Yeah.
4 from the very first showing.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know
Stop
that.
looking at me like that, man. You make me nervous now.
Well, I didn't know. I mean,
You're like, are you sure, John?
I don't know. John,
Because I got some fact checks where I was not right.
well, I could be wrong. You could probably right on that because that's the one thing I don't know. Believe it or not,
Yeah,
I don't know about Star Wars. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, the
just
first
cool.
one was episode 4 because I remember talking about that when I was a kid, being like, "Oh my god, it's like there's supposed to be like 3 more movies," and because those movies came out every 3 years back then, and so you had time to speculate and pretend like in between each one of those movies.
Yeah, you didn't have the internet like nowadays, where like
Yeah.
everything's everywhere.
No.
Bleeds
And you
your
always
soul.
but you always had that kid down the street that had everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Of course I got a lightsaber and I got a blaster. Oh, did you get the Chewie blaster? I was like, what?
I got a little.
Nobody has the Chewie
I
blaster.
got a little Chewy doll. That's all I got.
Yeah, so the Halloween looks good. One thing I wanted to mention about Halloween, the way that with the jump scares. Sorry, Jamie, but with
Nah, that is lame, isn't it? Lame. It's like
It's a little lame.
Hey, I'm like,
But I know exactly what it is.
Well, but it's like I'm jerk off hard, or I'm just
No,
I'm
dude,
hard.
it's
It's,
about-
like I'm ready to jerk off.
you can be scared, but it could be like a.
I know what it is. I'm just saying the lameness of it.
All right. Well,
I'm not picking up chicks talking about jump scares.
Well, you're not picking up chicks at all.
That's a fact.
None of us are.
No,
dude.
no. And the kids that are saying that are on their way to pick up chicks. But, you open up a refrigerator, you close it, and he's there, and he thunks you in the head with the end of a claw hammer or something like that. While in this one, like instead of that, in the trailer that I saw, you see Jason walking. Like the part that got him behind the door, the camera is like behind him and over his shoulder, and he's walking.
So it shows you how it gets there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm like, oh, that's chilling. And there's and it's Halloween, so all the kids are out and everything, and he's got a mask on, so nobody suspects jack shit. And he goes walking in, and I'm like, damn it. And they started the music. The music is everything. You talked about Jaws earlier, and I was like, try and watch that. Like someone told me that they saw that, they screened that movie without the music, and then with it, and the difference was extraordinary.
It's like I watched A Quiet Place this year. It's the same thing. It's more the anticipation. I think makes the better movies for horror movies or anything. It's like that anticipation,
Crank up that tension, man.
Quiet Place. Outside the first 5 minutes when you see the kid get eaten, the little boy, which was horrible. But the rest,
Spoilers.
Yeah. The rest of the movie, you're like, they're not saying a word. They're doing some sign language, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
What is going on? And it's just building up. And then, it's like a fucking climax. It's like having sex, foreplay and all that shit. It's like just the build up. Of course, you nut so fast, it's already over. So,
yeah, Halloween, looking forward to. And then I didn't see. Oh, video games. Real quick, that Spider-Man that we were talking.
Game's
it hit, and it's blowing up as far as like reviews.
is it? I saw the previews for it. It looked really cool.
Dude, they put so much atmosphere in that. And the gaming systems really aren't powerhouses. It's like these gaming engines, like Unreal Engines and stuff like that. That they're getting every ounce of juice out of these gaming systems, and they're making these cinematic. Video games.
You wait for the next level of game systems.
Oh,
It's
dude,
probably
I
gonna
can't
be like-
wait. I'm telling you, that raggedy old the sim suit that I have over there, I'm gonna upgrade. So yeah, and the only other thing I wanted to mention was especially stuff that we're looking forward to. I know we were talking last week about the stuff we were looking forward to in this fall, and so I just was curious, and I got online and I checked out what was going on with Netflix because I thought you get a little fatigued.
Oh, I do have some news on. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
Daredevil is coming out in October.
Oh, October. Nice.
I don't know the exact date in October, but it's scheduled in
Yeah,
October.
think about it. They finish up with Iron Fist, go right into Daredevil.
Nice.
That's sweet. So that's
fucking
good
awesome.
stuff.
I wish I'd see the trailer. They haven't released that trailer yet.
No,
still
nothing.
pumped up.
Really. I mean, they did the one, the shot with his mouth bleeding.
That's about it.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, because at the end of Defenders, he wakes up in some fucking bed, right?
that's right.
You know, and the sun's shining, and it's like, what the fuck? You were in a hole like 2 seconds ago.
I wonder if he was dead and they did Lazarus Pit on him.
No, I think he went to Kung Lao.
That would be cool.
I think that's because that was all about the Iron Fist opening up that building.
Dude,
and when it finally blew up, I think something happened that transported him.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, but that was the only thing.
If they want to dovetail the series together,
Yeah.
you know, maybe it closes with a Daredevil, something to chew on with Daredevil, and then you go right into Daredevil.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what they're doing. That'd be badass. Right?
that'd be awesome. Are you kidding me? But I was looking, and we talked a little bit about fatigue. Like, oh my god, I go on, and if you don't have anything to watch and you just want to watch something, it can be kind of, what do I watch? Oh, there's so much.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Dude, they're releasing or bringing into over 100 new films and TV shows into Netflix just in September.
What? No, not they made though.
No, you're right. They
Because I
didn't
thought
make
you
it
were.
all.
I thought you were talking about because like Ozarks just came out season 2. I watched season 1. I liked it, but then Jack Ryan came out, and I was like, kind of really want to see this Jack Ryan show because I've always been a fan of like Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games. I like the character, so I'm like, even Some of All Fears wasn't bad, and I'm like, I went with that, and I started watching that, and I did like it. I'm only like a couple episodes in, but that's my point, is that's not a Netflix, that's on Amazon Prime, but it goes to the content that's just constantly being released.
Yeah, no, exactly. But out of the Netflix originals, over half, so over 50, is Netflix originals.
Getting released like a second season. Or
Into September, yeah. Could be a second season, could be brand new material.
But that's what we talked about before. They already have my money. I don't even think about it.
I know, but I was astonished at that number.
That's a lot.
And they're pulling in stuff. I pulled in the list, but they're pulling in stuff that, remember what a shit show it was in the beginning? Like, you'd had to scrape around in some dusty barrels in order to get some gems out of what they originally started to release. They just didn't have the financing and the clout and the pull.
You know what I like about Netflix too is they can, before what's his face got fucked up, they can release a show like The Ranch.
Yes.
They curse, they fuck this, fuck that.
He could pull from that show? Danny Masterson?
He did. He
Yeah.
did. I mean, he got accused of raping girls, like
Yikes.
legitimately raping. He might go to fucking jail.
We all have to hide out in that Scientology.
But I mean,
thing.
I don't know if you ever watched any of those episodes. They were actually hilarious. I stopped watching it because of that, because it would piss me off.
That's
for
why.
sure.
That's why I like Netflix. Though they have fucking balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they come out and they're just like, "Man, I don't give a fuck." They're like, "If we think it's good, we'll throw it out there. If you don't like it, all right, we got something else."
And if your kid,
try us out.
Don't let your kids watch it. End of story. Not my problem.
Yeah,
You know?
and they come out with some good shit.
They do.
There's been some fucking clunkers,
Yeah. Oh,
but that's gonna
But dude, so much is... Sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
But that's just what's gonna happen.
I even watched a show with Shannon about these older ladies called Grace and Frankie.
That's pretty.
It was pretty good, dude. It was pretty fucking funny, dude.
I saw an episode of it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's for these old women they're sitting there doing
Well,
drugs
it's
together.
Jane Fonda and
Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin.
It's actually, I watched 2 seasons with her. That's pretty funny shit.
Like, who the fuck can like reinvent, like, you know, bring back like old actors like that?
Yeah.
Like actresses.
yeah.
Like out of like obscurity, because it is like at this point it's like obscure,
Yeah, they should have aged out of Hollywood a long time ago.
and they brought them back, and it's a legitimate show. I think it actually has 2 seasons. You're gonna have to fact check.
Winston was
Yeah.
on.
Because I think
Winston
it
was on there.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he showed up.
That's the second
Ernie
one.
Hudson.
Sorry guys, that was a shitty one.
I just saw him on Ballers.
No,
Was he on Ballers too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. He
was.
is on Ballers. But I
that
didn't
was-
see last week's episode.
That was a shitty Ghostbusters though. The second one.
Yeah, it was.
It
hard.
That's
was,
sarcasm. It was fucking absolutely not shitty.
Yeah,
It's
we're
awesome.
not going down this well again because I can't take it, Jamie. I just can't physically take this talk anymore.
That's fine.
Ghostbusters 2. But Ghostbusters PU on number 2. That's all there I'll have to
Why
say
didn't they
about
make
that.
a third? Because the second one sucked.
They did make a third, and it sucked even worse. Thanks, Paul Feig.
So, yeah, I thought that was some interesting content. Or details I didn't know. I knew they were just cranking. But that's a September. It's not even like they're not even on a friggin' schedule.
Dude, they're letting
But you know,
just
but you know what? That's probably when they do the best is the off schedule. Because when the regular TV shows start airing their shows, like from October on to May, some people get into the regular TV shows and watch them. But when there's nothing going on, what do? I fucking binge something. I'll put something on. I'll binge a show.
Yeah.
That's probably when Netflix is really charged up.
They're even trying out Yucca the Clown. You know what I mean? They're having
You
a Yucca.
have got to explain.
I know he was going to drive. I don't understand it either.
Well, I'm just saying it's going to be like Seth MacFarlane-esque.
I dig Seth MacFarlane.
It's going to be like that, except it probably has no holds bar, so you can curse and do whatever.
The only thing I didn't dig was Orville. I tried.
I tried too, man.
I didn't think
Even what's her
It's
face
not
was
horrible
on it.
at all.
No.
Even what's her face was
just-
on it.
I mean,
Your girl, your girls.
What on Star Trek?
She was on Orville. What the hell's her name?
Charlize Theron?
Yeah,
Was she
on-
really?
Yes, she was.
was.
Oh, that's right because they
His ex-wife.
Yeah.
No.
He was
Oh,
his-
that's
played-
the okay.
She
that's
played
the
the
character she
ex-wife
played.
in the show.
No, what they were in
I was
Western
shocked. I was like,
together.
"Oh yeah, they became friends."
That's right.
You know,
I
and I
forgot.
was like, "Fuck, that's Charlize Theron." I almost texted you guys that night.
Maybe I meant
I only
to
watched
that
the one.
episode.
That was the only episode I ever watched, and I was like,
I thought it was all right.
"It's all right," but it's just, I don't know.
When you have actual Star
Yeah.
Trek and
No,
you have
that's
things
a fact.
like Galaxy Quest, you're like, this
Well,
is
I
somewhere
don't mind-
weak in between.
I don't mind a movie making fun of Star Trek. I just can't continuously watch a show making fun of Star
Well, I
Trek.
think he really legit wanted to do Star Trek.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let him.
No,
No,
I think
he's not a
He
serious
got
actor.
typecasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's what he is. You know what I mean? It's like when he did the Oscars. He kind of sucked at that. I didn't like that one.
Yeah, he's got he had a niche, and it was. I mean, Ted was great. I liked Ted.
Fuck, Ted was awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
the first one was
Put
hilarious.
your finger in
Yeah.
my loop. Like who? That comedy right there is fucking golden.
Yeah,
Who comes up with something like that? Like,
he actually made Mark Wahlberg funny.
dude,
Yes,
like,
and that's all.
yes.
That's stiff of a comedian.
I want
He's-
to.
again. Mark Wahlberg is what he is. I respect the dude because the dude brings it.
But he
every
has-
time.
he has
But
a
I don't.
specific-
I thought he made the other guys less funny. I thought he made Ted less funny, and they were funny ass movies.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to shake the hand of the guy who came up with that line. Like, put your finger in my loop. Like, who could even think of something like that? Good for you, sir.
That movie, the
Yeah,
first one
that's
was
comedy
The
gold.
second one was okay. The first one was hilarious.
Yeah, great movie.
I forgot about that.
But that's his playground, right? That's
Yeah.
where that dude
his
is
wheelhouse.
genius.
And you know what? And he should stay there. I mean, and just keep trying to tweak it a little bit here and there to stay with the times. Don't
Yeah.
try to. I think a lot of these actors or people, comedians, or vice versa, try to. Well, I can do these other things. Well,
You know, I think my problem with that Orville is I think they should have taken it to the next level. I think that's something that should have gone to like a Netflix, and you could finally do. Can you imagine Family Guy?
Yeah.
With like you're allowed to curse and stuff.
Yeah, I agree
I'm not
with
saying
that.
they don't need cursing or whatever, but it doesn't hold you back because sometimes
Family Guy doesn't need it because I think just the anticipation of they're going to say something.
But I'm saying
holds it true.
I'm saying him making a show like that, like a cartoon's different because there's more. You got like more leeway.
No, I get you.
It's like a reality, not reality, but it's like a standard show that you're like doing a spoof on.
No,
And
no,
it's
I agree.
Seth MacFarlane comedy. I think you need to step it up a notch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like have no holds bar. That way you can.
I think he needs
Go
to.
whatever
I
way.
think personally, you're right. I think Stephen McFarlane, his next show should be on like a Netflix type.
Exactly.
Because he needs to unleash.
Yeah.
He can't hold back anymore. You still have Family Guy, that's great, and it's one of my all-time favorite cartoons. But I think you're right. He needs to get out there and just let it go because I think he could be even funnier than he already is.
Yeah.
Because he just has that in him. I mean, 1,000 Ways to Die in the West. I fucking thought it was great.
Was it good?
I thought it was great. I mean,
dug
I
it.
wouldn't sit there and say I'd buy it, but did I laugh? I have a good time watching it? Yeah.
I dug it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's never going to hurt for money.
Nah.
There's the between Family Guy and well, put it this way, he's got his niche. Hey, give the guy credit if he wants to expand his horizons. I just with Orville, I was just like, okay. For me, honestly, it felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yes.
Like it didn't know whether it was like it was
spoof or not.
Spoof, yeah. Is it serious? Is it what are we doing here? But hey, if he gets an audience, they can let this discretion pass with all his past performances. Man, I mean, the guy's a stud when it comes to the stuff he's done in the past. Anyway. But along with the Netflix thing, we're also there's a couple things I mentioned that I am looking forward to. I didn't know Black Panther was coming out right to Netflix.
Yeah, it came out this month. I did.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Did we talk about that?
No, we didn't. I just found that out like a week ago or something like that.
Yeah, it actually came out yesterday, September 4th. Black Panther hit. So
I rented it. I loved it. I just have it doesn't have that rewatch factor for me.
I watched it a couple times.
I watched it a couple times too. It's the only. I do think it was a better cinematic experience.
Oh, absolutely,
for sure. Because I think that
is that it. You didn't know what was coming.
Well,
that's why I liked it.
Well, the
first time best.
And I'm not alone in complaining about some of the CG being a little janky. And so that kind of takes me out of it a little bit, and more so when you get to the small screen, because I don't think you have as good a cut when you're seeing it on, through your internet provider,
right?
And on the big screen, you get everything kind of full blast, and so that part kind of. But I'm still happy that it came right to Netflix. That means Netflix has got some juice,
Well, actually, they're losing the Disney part eventually soon.
That's right. They're going to.
I think like in a year or something like that. Disney's not going to be releasing. Channel. They're not going to be releasing any new content.
Yeah, DC just released theirs.
I heard I didn't read the article. They said the streaming service itself is good.
Yeah, but
they don't have a lot of content.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're not going to.
They're not going to because, like we always talk about, like their shows, their movies are just not where they should be.
Yeah.
To really draw in. Like Marvel itself could probably have a streaming service. I'm not talking about Disney, just Marvel, and it would probably draw in
a business unit.
Yeah, right, and just draw it in.
Yeah, it's. We'll see how it goes. I again don't want to pay for a ton of different services, but we'll see. We'll see what I mean.
That's what it's coming down to.
It's going to be tough.
They're like, I want $10 here, want $10 there, want $10 here. It's like,
yeah, I'm already paying.
I can't fucking be paying $10 to all you fuckers, dude, and paying for cable.
But the other thing that I'm looking forward to, obviously, Iron Fist. That next gen movie's coming out this month too.
What next gen?
The one it's Netflix swing at the fence with. We mentioned it a few podcasts ago. It's their swing at their own animation.
Oh yeah, you said it was the animation. It's okay.
It looks decent. It looks like they're just getting their legs, is what it looks like, and that there'll probably be better stuff to come.
I think Castlevania second season's coming up.
Yep.
Which I'll check. It's only 4 episodes, so it's not like I'm killing myself with time.
Well, the one thing that I didn't know about that I just, in this one article that I saw was the Dragon Prince. Have you heard of this?
No.
So the Dragon Prince is an animated series. It's coming to Netflix.
Is it anime?
It is not anime. It's got. It looks like it's computer generated. It looks like it's CG, but not CG in a real dimensional way that you'd see like a Pixar or something. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a blend of that with hand drawn. It looks like. So it looks decent. It's by the thing that really excited me about this, set in this medieval fantasy realm with elves and wizards and dragons, and it is written by the guys that did the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, I love that cartoon.
That cartoon is hands down one of my favorite cartoons ever. Now, this is part
not
of
that was when they did the second one with the girl, right? Just the first.
No,
one. Yeah.
Although that one Korra was decent.
It was. I didn't like the ending. I thought it was cheesy.
Yeah. I mean, it was Avatar: The Last Airbender was like hands down one of my favorite cartoons.
It was
ever.
awesome. I mean, we could spend an episode talking about that.
That was good. I liked it.
Totally awesome. And like I love the ones that transcend, where you can sit there
With your kids.
and then it resonates with you too.
I watched it with Aiden. It was great, man. And
totally cool.
At
So-
first, I was like, I needed to watch it with Aiden because I was like, what am I doing watching this?
yeah. He pulled the excuse that we're doing this for the kid.
Yeah, Aiden, get over here.
But that's coming out September 14th, so I am definitely looking forward to that. And that's all I have in the news. Let's switch some gears and talk about this week's subject or topic. Now, we were going to have our friend Jerry Jerry. That's a different Jerry. We were going to have our friend Jerry over, who's a police officer and a firefighter.
The double Spocks.
Yes.
Which would be triple Spocks now. And he would lose his mind. 2
to 3 Spocks confused him, and time-traveling Spock it throws him for a loop. But but we love and adore Jerry, and just timing-wise, we couldn't work it out. So we'll definitely have him on. But we're still going to continue with the topic. And the reason I brought Jerry up was because Jerry's a real, honest-to-goodness, I would say, superhero in his own right, because he is a peacekeeper and a firefighter. And he puts it out there all the time. But what I wanted to think about is with people like Jerry, we talk about all these superheroes that have these superpowers. Where is that kind of exhibited? And Batman is probably the most known superhero
without powers.
Without powers.
And then you could put Iron Man in there.
Yeah, super intellect, right? And but not I guess genetically gifted, but not he didn't have a vat of chemicals fall on him. He's not
absolutely
mutant
not.
Gene or anything like that.
He just made what he is.
Yeah, but I feel like with Batman, it was all about will.
Yeah,
we talked about will a little bit earlier. He has will and conviction and determination
and a bank,
right?
Bank account that can help that conviction.
But it's interesting because if you're a kid, you can start to talk about grounding stuff in reality, right? Listen, if I just work out hard enough, I can be strong. I can be strong like Batman. If I studied martial arts, if I hone my body to be the perfect weapon, if I studied chemistry and I studied, the art of, became a detective. Went all over the world to hone this craft because I had this one fixed obsession, which was to make sure that nobody experienced what I experienced at the hands of somebody.
Yeah, drive.
You know what I mean?
The ultimate drive. I mean, that's just going beyond.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, and that's why I think when you fast forward into Batman: The Dark Knight and you Dark Knight Returns, he's an old man, right? Frank Miller's Batman, Dark Knight. He's an old man, but his body, his will, his determination,
that's not faded,
gets him through, right?
Yeah.
And so much so that he even whoops on Superman, right? Who has all the powers, and that's where we get those scenes that are in the last Batman v Superman. So the thing that really kind of struck my fancy is are there examples of this in the real world? Are there and we talk, and you got things like Split, right? The movie Split, where it was through psychosis or sociopathy that this person was able to manifest superhuman abilities to get them to do superhuman things.
Well, supposedly, we talked about this the other day, it's the mother in the car, or the father in the car, and using somebody get trapped underneath the car, and they use it's whatever endorphins or whatever, they lift up the car to get to the kid or whatever. It's been documented that things like that have happened. If that's what you're talking about, or just talking about sheer just somebody being an ultra good Samaritan and going out of their way and doing
well. There's two things, right? There's actually some people out there that actually have superhuman abilities. Mm-hmm. You look at the Mountain. He's the strongest guy in the world. He can lift 1,400 kilos.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he actually. But he looks like it. But I didn't know he actually won
He
the
can
title.
lift like 14.
He's a freak, man.
Almost 1,500 pounds.
That is a freak, dude.
Right, and he's the runt of his.
Yeah,
of
we
his
talked
litter,
about.
right?
I know. Imagine what he eats, dude. Jesus fucking Christ!
He eats whatever comes in front
Just
of his face.
give me like 5 pizzas, dude. I'm good. No, you're talking about guys like a Michael Phelps, where the determination to be the fastest all around swimmer in almost any category. You know, where he won 22 gold medals, whatever. You know, to a degree. Is that what you're talking about? Kind of like that.
Yeah, well, there's both, right? There's there's a tiny woman who pulls the kid off the car, but then there's also the other extremes. There's people actually out there who have who've conditioned their body to where they, like Wim Hof. He can
Who?
Wim Hof. He's this guy who does these breathing techniques, and he can submerge himself in cold water, like sub-zero temperatures, ice-filled baths for over. I think he's got like 48 minutes in, like totally.
There's no way. That's impossible.
Oh yeah, dude. Totally. He does it. No frostbite.
I have to
no
see that to
nothing.
believe it.
This is what I'm talking about.
But does
dude.
he use that to like help train people like that would actually legitimately use some bullshit like that?
I'm sure he.
But I'm
willing to
saying like,
teach
and
anybody
other than
to
that, it's
change.
just like
Or it's like those steel rods that people like hit in the stomach.
Exactly,
And
dude.
they like bend the rod or something like
You
that.
see those little kung fu dudes who pull some giant across the room just by using technique.
But see, and I'm gonna be like the naysayer, as like Joe Rogan always says, because he like trains for that MMA fighting and all that stuff.
Does he do it?
Yeah, he's like big into it. Like
I didn't know he actually did it though.
Yeah,
Dude, there are
he's,
videos.
he's big into like training and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and, like
yeah.
they ask him about, you do all this training for like years or whatever, all to prepare for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing that for? Unless, like he's given like, his secrets to like the SEALs or something like that, so they could utilize that in some sort of training.
But
or
you think the
something.
SEALs, those kind of SEALs, probably already know?
Those fuckers are those.
That's
dudes
what I mean.
are
You
fucking
get
superheroes.
Those guys like type SEAL Team 6. Those type of dudes. You ever see those?
Yeah,
movies?
special forces.
The one
SEALs.
Mark Wahlberg movie. Did you ever see that movie where the SEAL team got stuck in?
I did not. I know the one you're talking about.
Oh, it was so good. They kept like falling down. Like they had to like make themselves fall down the mountain. It was a rocky mountain.
Yeah, and they broke his back and shit.
Yeah,
like
a bunch
that,
of
yeah.
them did, and it was because the guy they were getting overrun. up
See,
top.
that's
It
what I'm
was
talking about,
crazy.
man. So could you be Batman?
Could there be a Batman?
Could
I
there
don't think
be
he would
a
last.
Batman? Not us.
I don't
We're not us.
I think it's possible, but
I think
he
it's
would last.
possible
I don't
if-
think he would
if-
last.
No.
I don't know. I don't know if he'd
Not with
last.
the internet and all that stuff today. He'd get figured out. I think like maybe like 20, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But you're talking about, I'm talking about physical prowess. Are you talking about like your secret identity?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that would get fished out.
I think it could work now better now today than 20 years ago. And I want to say that is because with the internet, yes, people can figure things out, but you also have to understand if you're dealing with a guy that's a billionaire, he'll have technology that
Yeah,
you
you're-
probably won't even be aware of.
But
yet.
you're forgetting that like the government has satellites. Like there's like satellites. There's everybody has a cell
and
phone.
you
that
don't
takes
think
pictures.
a billionaire say
Nah,
whatever.
I don't-
just people in the
that
world
I don't think
with
so.
all the power and leverage that he has through the government and other
I
things.
think we're
that
at
he
the-
might not know. He might not know things.
I think we're at the point that if they wanted to find someone, they could.
Nah, see, I disagree. I'm on the other side of that. I think as technology goes, yes, it's easier to find somebody, but it's also if you're rich enough and powerful enough, it's easier to hide.
I mean, I think that'd be like the first person they go after. They could narrow people down by their bank accounts. Like it'd be simple.
I mean, now that we know, like looking at Batman now, but yeah, I mean, sure.
I mean, I don't know. I like that part. I think that aspect. I think it'd be.
I think
very
it goes hand
difficult.
in hand. I mean, back in the day, it would be harder for him to pull off the technology stunts that they were in the previous, like, say, like 20, 30 years ago, because the technology wasn't there for him to do that stuff. Nowadays, he has it. So some of the stuff, like when you watched The Dark Knight and the Nolan trilogy, some of the stuff they did in that with like the sonar and all that stuff so he could find the Joker.
Yeah.
that technology wasn't there 20 years ago, 30 years ago. He wouldn't have been able to do that, to do these things. And I think if you're rich enough, you're powerful enough, you can hide certain things. And I believe they all do. But I think if you wanted to, he could hide his identity even better than they do in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to entertain. Now, you guys are talking about identities. I'm talking about like
physicality.
Right?
I don't think someone would be able to maintain that consistently.
Yeah. You couldn't do it every night like Batman does in the movies.
No.
Because he goes out every other night, man, the one, he's like all bruised up. I mean, you probably
another way to be figured out too, also.
Yeah.
You might, and Jamie worked that long week and he got strep throat.
Right, yeah.
You know?
That's a fact.
But.
And there's one motherfucker you ain't beaten. Father Time, dude.
Truth.
Although that's another one they're coming out with. They actually already in studies on trying anti-aging drugs on mice.
I heard about that.
No
too.
shit.
There's a huge article.
I saw
They're
something.
treating it like a disease.
Yes,
Sick.
which is badass, dude.
Yeah.
They've already started getting some cells in mice to almost go backward in time.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
they're talking about maybe people living in a couple years, the lifespan expanding to 150 and beyond.
So what if you
Holy
had
shit.
So think about this. So I was poking around. That would be wild. You know who's 150? Who was 150?
Who?
Dumbledore.
He was fucking old, dude.
Yeah.
Did he die? Did they say it was average around 150 when he died? Or are you
Yeah.
just being sarcastic?
No. I looked it up.
Oh, fucking right, dude. I was like thinking of that when they were showing the show. It's like in the 20s when he was like 30 years old, 35. And I'm like, and it's 2018 and he looks like he's maybe
Yeah, I
like
looked
80.
that shit up. He's 150 years old.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So I need to be a wizard.
That's right.
Who doesn't?
You're right.
I am a wizard. So the guy Wim Hof that I was talking about,
Yeah.
in taking the world's longest ice bath in 2011, he did 1 hour and 52 minutes.
And that's
I'm
legit.
saying-
That's legit.
Minus 4 degrees.
Cool and all.
They say you like. When
I'm
you go-
sorry, Finland in temperatures of about minus 20
They
degrees.
say because if you go in water that's below 40 degrees for more than 5 minutes, you could have all your limbs frozen off.
Dude,
See,
watch it. I've seen videos of this.
I know
cat.
what he's talking about, and that is cool and all, but like let's utilize that fucking shit. Like, what are you doing with that?
So think about this, all right?
Like, I'm saying training that somebody's going to use like in tactical ways or whatever.
Well, what's the point of it all?
Yeah, like
so think about this. You're a
I
Navy
can eat
SEAL.
like a zillion hot dogs in
Well,
10
that's
minutes.
great,
Like,
dude.
cool,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean? I'm a
you're
superhero. I can eat hot dogs.
So think
I'm the
about-
Winginator.
Yeah, it's like
Wingador.
Yeah, El Wigador. That's it.
So think about this. Say you had a combination of these abilities, right? Say you were just genetic.
Yeah,
now
okay,
we're shifted,
okay,
right?
all
Now
all
you're
Yeah.
genetically.
We're evolving.
Yeah, you
quote
evolved,
unquote.
right?
Yes.
You're genetically blessed.
Okay.
Like there's a cat that doesn't sleep.
What?
Okay.
Zero sleep. I forget
What
his
cat
name.
is it?
I can't remember. Not,
There's a
not
breed?
no, I mean, I meant a dude, a man.
shit.
Oh.
He got you on some slang, Nick.
I was throwing down.
He
Got
said,
me.
he said cat.
Yeah, man. I thought it was like a breed of animal.
There's some cat daddy-o.
Yeah, he used to
There's
like
no way
70s
somebody
slang.
could not sleep. There's
He
no
doesn't
way.
sleep.
'Cause
Dude, I swear to God, I'll look him up. But anyway,
finding all this bullshit. I think
So,
he's lying over here.
doesn't-
This is all fact
He's on a
checks.
lot. You know what it is? He's on them fucking porn sites and all this pop-up shit's pop out. It's like guy who doesn't sleep.
Doesn't
He's
say
like
that.
he like clicks there. He's like, I'll go back to that.
yeah, guy that doesn't sleep because that's what they're going to sell on a porn site. A guy that doesn't sleep and not a guy with a 10-inch dong.
Well, I think you already bought the big penis products. They're trying to sell you something.
You got
else.
that penis
Dude,
pump.
there was a
That's not for my. That's not for my mom. It's for my long. Whatever he said.
There was a joke where I forget who it was, maybe Dom Irera, one of the older comedians. He said, so if you buy the penis cream that makes your penis bigger, wouldn't it make your hands bigger?
Yeah.
Walking around with these giant hands.
It actually just makes your hands smaller.
Shrinks them, makes everything look bigger.
That's right. So could you imagine you combine it, right? Say you go and you get your military training. You talk about Navy SEALs
Okay.
being badasses, right? Navy SEAL, you get all that training, hand-to-hand combat, demolitions, firearms, all that stuff. But then you also have these other things that have been gone on record. Like there's people that don't sleep. So now you can study whenever you want. You can do whatever.
Train.
You can make up for all that time.
Now, one quick question: the guy who can sit in water, all he do is just sit in the shit, or can he swim in it, or whatever?
He just sits in it.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
unless he can
but
fucking
listen,
swim in it.
But what if you combine that
Okay.
with the military dude These guys, the ones I'm about to rattle off, are real people. The guy who can go into sub-zero temperatures for a long amount of time. There's another dude who was this guy, Manty, looks like Mantaranta. Doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
He, back in the 60s, he was accused of what was it? It may have been the first Finnish sportsman to test positive for hormone doping, which totes kosher back in the 60s. But he probably didn't need it to, since he had genetic super endurance ability. So his blood could store 50% more oxygen than the normal person.
Well, I actually saw something on a diving thing. They had we were watching a diving special with Shen. There's like this tribe of people that I guess in
like pearl divers,
but it's this one island out in the Pacific that this is all they do.
Yeah,
and
I think I saw that.
They can dive. No, they can stay underwater for like 5 minutes.
That Asian country.
And dive deeper than any other human on Earth, and they say it has something to do with their genetic, their the way they save oxygen in their cells, because they're just it's built in their genes. It's like it's almost like dinosaurs. How like one dinosaur was on one side of the crocodiles and alligators, same family, but they're two different kind of species. Yep. They deal with weather differently.
Quick question, something to wrap your head around. Now, I know it's illegal, quote unquote, but do you think somebody's like gathering up shit like this and is like trying to like combine it or trying to figure some way?
Oh yeah, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if the government's not.
Yeah,
doing
but that's
that
where
shit.
I'm going, man. That's what I'm getting at. So you got the dude that can store more oxygen. You got the dude that can take extreme cold. You got the guy who that doesn't sleep. Right? These are all genetic abnormalities.
Steps on a ladder.
They're genetic abnormalities.
There you go.
I can't talk. Abnormalities, and then you have then if you combine that, there's dude where the guys had a stronger bone density than anybody on the planet. I forget where it was exactly, but didn't suffer osteoporosis. They said like bones like steel, but not like steel, just a lot harder. So if you take all these things that are happening, right, and you put them in some genetic soup, and could you breed into something along those lines?
And maybe throw like an inbred in there or something too.
Well, you need a sidekick.
Yeah.
No, I mean, who knows? I mean, that'd
be awesome.
I don't know if I ever told you this. I probably did in passing. I once watched a show. It was like a 2020 thing, and they were doing interviews about Area 51 and all that stuff. And the one guy that was talking to people, and he goes, and at the end of his commentary, he's talking to somebody who's getting interviewed, and he goes, so you talk to what's going on in there? He's like, well, I can't tell you exactly what's going on, but I can tell you we talk to a lot of big engineering companies that have contracts with the government CEOs. The one guy told me off the record, and I'm not going to tell you who it was, that stuff on TV that you think you see, we're doing some of that now.
Oh, some futuristic shit.
Yeah, so it's like that's like pretty badass shit.
Well, okay, now I'm going back to Batman, right? So that means shit is possible, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe any of that shit's possible.
Yeah.
It's why we watch these things, because fuck, man, our
I want superheroes, man.
I mean, you look at 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and all that stuff. I mean, that's what their superheroes was 150 years ago.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally,
and that shit came to pass 75 years later.
If you saw, so there's the other extreme, right? When I was doing my very meager research, there's the other extreme. If you look up real life superheroes, there are dudes that are out there making citizens arrests.
Are trying to do that shit?
Dressed up like superheroes.
A cape.
Why do we believe it when we're so enthralled with it on real TV? And then, when
until I see somebody flying,
Yeah.
Or with claws coming out of their fucking hands. I'm not going to believe that shit. I would laugh at somebody.
So all right. So say you're the dude now. Say you were able to. Someone said we're gonna manipulate your genes to do some of the things that aren't flying or stuff, but some things that I listed that they could capture: increased bone density and bone strength, be able to have greater lung capacity, not have to sleep, all those things. Memory, like Mary Lou Henner, she's got that photographic memory that she can remember.
Memory?
Dude, photogenic memory? Is
really?
It photogenic? Photographic? What?
Who's
photographic.
this person?
Mary Lou Henner. She was on Taxi. She was the redhead on Taxi.
Oh, she really?
Dude, she can remember shit like September 5th, 1976. Well, what about it? What did you do? Well, I woke up and I brushed my teeth. My toothbrush was pink, and I put on my deodorant. My deodorant was this secret deodorant that I used, and again and again and again.
She remembers step by step everything in
dude.
her whole life.
Whole life,
dude. I'm going to say this, but I can't believe that's possible.
You think it would drive you crazy, right?
Right? Yeah.
No. Dude, she's done it like I've seen her do it on a couple of television shows, and she's not the only one. There's a bunch of documented cases.
But that'd be great to be. I mean, you could look at a book and read it and know it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you though. I think the most likely scenario is more along the lines of, and I'm, it's sad to say, I probably see something like it is like a Punisher.
But dude, yes,
because
it's getting to that point.
It's getting to that point.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But
yeah.
like,
no, I don't want that.
No, but I'm saying though, like with all like the shootings and stuff going on,
yeah,
you might find like a reverse situation of it. Not that it would be deemed like correct, but I think you might find like
someone goes down, takes
someone goes
out.
down, but goes after people that
gun lobbyists,
people that I'm going to say quote unquote might deserve it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I hear what you. That would be a hell of a story. Like if you were to write some fiction novel or some movie, and maybe that's a version of the Punisher.
That's why the Punisher has always been like interesting because it's like
it's grounded a little bit.
It is. It's more like a likely scenario.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's dark.
Man. That is real dark.
It is dark.
Makes me look forward to the next Punisher.
Yeah, dude, Punisher's awesome.
Yeah, that's probably going to be early next year. You think?
Probably.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
But that would be some pretty wild stuff if they can make. All right, that's where I jumped off my question. Last question, and then we'll get to a quick fact check and wrap it up. But if you had these genetic abilities, not so far-fetched that you're Superman, but something basically grounded in. Just run with this scenario. Would you fight crime?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I think I would be like, I wouldn't be a cop, I don't think, but I'd be like in the service or something.
Yeah?
I think I would do something like that.
Yeah.
I'd be in sports.
I dig that.
Yeah.
I dig that like tactical shit.
Next, like, is there a Nike contract involved?
Colin Kaepernick still gets one.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
I'd like to.
That is true.
I'd like to be like utilized something like that.
That would be wild.
No. To Jamie's point, you're absolutely right. I mean, it all depends on what you're giving me. I mean, if it's just slight advantages, and I didn't really know about it. I mean, like, am I totally aware of these advantages?
Yeah.
Okay.
You discovered them or something, like you went to the hospital for something and they said, and you got this readout that said, by the way, this, and this, and this. And then you start to put it to the test and you realize that you're
I don't know if I would. I'm not sure.
above and beyond
I'm not
exceptional.
sure until I'm in that situation.
Is a 9-inch dick?
That's a superpower.
That's
a superpower.
For sure.
So you wouldn't be in that category then.
No.
I'm going to bring up Stern.
What?
He said something, and I remember.
He always talks about his little dick.
Well, he said one time he was getting examined, and he's laying on his back, and he said something, and I still use it to this day. And it's got to be a 30-year-old joke. He said, "I'm laying on my back, and it looks like an acorn lying on a beanbag." Or one last thing, would you?
Would you? You never.
Would I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would only
You would
because
fight crime, or would you join the military?
No, I'd fight crime. for sure.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to see what outfit he chooses.
That's what next question was going to be. I was like, if you did it,
If it did.
would you want a costume?
I'd wear something tactical, like a Punisher.
Me too.
Like a Punisher.
I would
outfit.
go that way. Absolutely. 'Cause you would
Punisher.
have-
I wouldn't use a fucking cape.
No, capes aren't practical.
And,
We learned
yeah.
that in Incredibles.
Punisher with like
no capes.
I would do like a Punisher type setup.
You'd have to have a
But I
helmet.
would cover like my mouth and my nose.
Yeah.
So some sort of probably like a ninja mask, like something along those lines.
Maybe
Yeah.
some like motocross cycle gear, like body armor.
Yeah, I don't want to cheese it up.
No, you don't have to have.
I mean,
but
you're not
you
going to be
you gotta have
impervious
ability.
from bullets, dude.
Don't just-
Oh,
Still
you
could
need
die.
Kevlar.
That's what I mean. You're still going to need
now
that,
we're
dude.
talking.
Yeah, you definitely need Kevlar and probably a helmet, right?
To some degree. I don't think you want to do a full-on
I'm
gauge
gonna have
helmet.
long hair too. Fuck it.
Mullet.
Nah, I'm not gonna have
You'd
a
be-
mullet, but I'm
you'd
gonna
be
have, like,
mullet
I'm gonna have
man.
like some Keanu Reeves shit going on. You know what I mean?
Oh, do some John Wick thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lower air.
Wait, that suit was bulletproof, wasn't it?
it
I
might
think
have
it
been.
was.
The second season it was.
Yeah,
I
the
think.
second season.
So the first season, I don't think it was.
Dude, did you see the
First
the-
season, first movie. I mean.
They leaked a photo of him shooting up a car on horseback for this next John Wick movie.
Oh, it's going to be badass.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved the both of them. First one was so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I watched it the other day. It was on. I was like, I love
Badass.
this movie.
So Jamie and I would be superheroes in some way, and Nick would be signing NFL contracts.
I've been
And
making a lot of money.
He'd be cheating essentially.
You have to fund our
He's like
operation,
the
Nick.
Yeah, he's like the card counter.
I'll,
You know,
I'll donate a lot of money to police officers. And
There
stuff
you
like that.
Oh, you're such a nice guy.
Yo, I'd knock up on your door. Nick, I need a new grappling hook. I need a new grappling hook. Can you throw me a couple shekels?
And you look at John and be like, dude, what is up with your outfit? What's up with that suit, dude?
You said you weren't going to wear a cape, dude.
Yeah, you went all out.
It's a half cape, like Captain Marvel
No capes.
or Shazam. All right. Let's wrap this bad boy up. We got a couple of fact checks. Fact check. Oh, I just made a mistake, a slip of the tongue with the Rock movie. The next movie is Jungle Cruise, not Jungle Ride. Not that it matters. And The Rock is 6'4", 240 pounds.
What did we say it was?
We said 300.
A pure man.
That dude's a man and a half.
Yeah, kidding.
The other thing, fact check, J.K. Rowling, she's not worth $1 billion, but she is worth $650 million.
I thought you were.
Yeah.
I thought she was $1 billion. That's crazy.
And apparently it's backsliding since her annual earning is just a meager $54 million a year.
Oh, she's poor.
I don't know.
Help me, I'm poor.
Well, she was at $1 billion though when it was at the height, right?
Probably. I do remember some vaguely that she had topped $1 billion, but I wasn't sure. And I kept saying Michael Pare was in the Manhattan Project. He wasn't. That was a different movie with John Lithgow. He was actually in the Philadelphia Experiment from
No,
Philadelphia.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was the one we were.
No,
had
I always wanted to know. Was that a true story?
no.
Was there like a Philadelphia experiment? I thought I read something that there was. Maybe not to the degree that
That's
was.
another fact check.
Yeah, there you go.
Nick's rolling into another fact check.
Yeah,
It's a good fact check.
give me more to do there. It's okay.
More work.
And then some fun facts. We mentioned Dumbledore was 150 years old.
It's badass, dude.
But his full name, Professor Albus Percival Wulfric
Yep.
Brian Dumbledore.
That's a
I was
lot.
like, where the frick did Brian come from? How did he go from Wulfric
to Brian.
Wulfric is what they should have named the dog in Family Guy,
I think
and then
she owed a good to her
Instead of
cousin.
Brian.
Yeah, she owed a how do you do to her cousin or some shit.
wait, what?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, paying homage.
Yeah. There you go.
I owed you a favor.
Hey,
you know?
oh, and Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know this, but Crimes of Grindelwald, speaking of Harry Potter, it's taking place between 1926 and 1945.
Wow.
Right
And-
by the war. That's sweet.
Yep, and still continuing along with the fun facts and Harry Potter. The entire Harry Potter series is set from 1991 to 1998. The whole class.
Oh,
Go
really?
From end to end.
Shit.
That's the timeline in.
From the books.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
it's a fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
I aim to please, man.
Dude, you pleased me there.
So thank you everybody for joining us for this week's episode of the Nick, John, and Jamie Show. Please be sure to subscribe to our show on iTunes and Google Play. We're also on Stitcher, Spotify, and the YouTubes. And if you're digging the show, of course, as always, leave us a 5-star review. And you can also follow us on Twitter, not Chitter. I don't know what Chitter is, but on Twitter at NJJ Show, Instagram at NJJ Show, or if you are on Facebook, search the Nick, John, and Jamie Show and follow our page. Thanks again, everybody, and have an awesome week.